Hey guys, welcome. So today I'm going to be doing a manga reading log. This is very delayed. I think I only did a manga reading log once and then I just never did another one because I just did not have the motivation and I don't want to force myself to do something I don't want to do. So I haven't done one in a while, but I have a lot of series that I have read, and I think I may have talked about some of them in like my hauls, but in this you actually get proper in-depth thoughts about specific volumes and such. And there's just a lot of series that I just really want to talk about. So yes, we're doing a very delayed manga reading log. So let's begin. So the first series that I just need to talk about because I just read this last night and so many thoughts and feelings, and that is How Do We Relationship 4 and 5. So I read these two volumes and I would like to say that after these two volumes, this series has become one of my top 10 favorite manga. It reached that level because of how well written the characters are. This is a GL where there's these two girls where she's more of the like quiet one who throughout her life had to keep her identity a secret, and in college she wanted to explore it more and to finally get a girlfriend, and she's definitely more open about it, or just the more like outgoing social one. And when the two find out that they're both gay, they decide, let's get together. Obviously with this sort of premise you can tell that the relationship happens quite fast, but you see how many complications and issues there are in their relationship and how it is not a healthy relationship. And these two volumes really solidified that. You see how there's so many cracks in their relationship. I would say it's probably one of the most realistic portrayals of a toxic relationship I've ever read in a manga. Like, this manga made me seethe with anger. I wanted to cry at some parts. It just was able to evoke such strong emotions, and the fact that it was able to do that really shows how well written the characters are. Like, these are not good people, you could say, like good people in the sense that they were just not right for each other in this relationship, and you can really see that. And it's just not even from a lack of communication, there's just so many other issues in their relationship, and I just love it so much. I would definitely say this is like a character study where this manga really discusses and goes into a lot of issues. Like in this chapter, where, as you can see, if I were a dude, my body count would be something to be proud of. Why do people think that just because I'm a woman I've got to have some kind of deeper meaning, or that they can talk smack about me? I don't let people treat me like that. So as you can see, it's not just about like obviously issues and how people react when you're a lesbian and the kind of like expectations people have, these stereotypes and such, and that whole mindset of I can fix you, or this is just a phase, that whole thing. And then yeah, so obviously there's talk of that, but there's also other issues which I really enjoyed. And yeah, this series is just amazing and I cannot wait. I know volume 6 is already out, so I definitely have to pick it up. But if you have not already read this, go read it. This isn't, if you're looking for like a cute GL romance, this is not it. But if you just want like a character study and a really realistic portrayal of just people in college, I highly recommend this. Yeah, this is just amazing and such a top-notch series. Okay, next let's talk about, I talked about this series a lot in my hauls, but let me tell you guys my true thoughts and feelings, which is Given. I don't know if I talked about this in my previous manga reading log. I might have, I don't think so. But yeah, I read all 6 volumes, and I remember, I think I said I wasn't going to try to read it fast, but yeah, I just couldn't stop myself from reading it. This series just flew by for me. It was so good, and obviously I absolutely love volumes 1, 2 and 3, and then volume 4 and 5 was when it really fell off for me because it followed the side couple a lot more. And this might be controversial, but I don't like the side couple, and I just think that it had a really strong start where you see him recovering through grief, through music and all of that. And I don't know, I just think it was quite a realistic portrayal of like mental illness and all of that. So it was a really strong start, but then I think volume 4 and 5 was just really like unnecessary drama that I just didn't care for. But volume 6 really improved on itself. I really enjoyed this volume, and I like the direction that it's going in, and I can't wait to see more. I like how in volume 6 you really see how there are cracks in the relationship and how he's still trying to recover from the grief, and how it's not just completely solved just like that. And I really am enjoying that, and I really like this character. I forgot his name, but he's a really interesting character, and I think we're definitely going to be seeing more of him. But volume 7 probably won't come out until next year or something. So yeah, I kind of wish I didn't read it so quickly because now I gotta wait. I could read scans, but I think I'm just gonna wait for the physicals. But yeah, that's my feelings on Given. I would recommend the anime first, to be honest, before reading the manga, just because since it is a music series, obviously the songs are actually going to be played in the anime, and I think that really just makes it more impactful, especially in one specific scene. If you know, you know. So I just highly recommend, and the song is actually really good. So yeah, I would recommend trying out the anime first, and then if you want to continue it, I recommend giving the manga a shot afterwards. Okay, moving on, let's go to a shonen series that I read. I don't think I've ever shown me picking up this manga. Maybe I have, I don't think so, but yeah. It is Kaiju No. 8. I read volume 1 and I love it. It's like a mix of, I would say, kind of like Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, but like in the sense of like what the plot is, because basically we follow this guy who is in his 30s, which I think is such an interesting protagonist. Because obviously usually we get like really young characters, so I think that's really interesting. And he's part of like the cleaning crew of these like kaijus who are like these monsters that causes mayhem in the world, and he's like the cleaning crew, so he cleans up after the like heroes, defeats them, but then he decides to apply for the defense force as this is his last chance to. But then in a scenario that happens, he ends up becoming a kaiju. So you can see what I mean by like Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man kind of thing. But I really enjoyed this first volume. It ended off on a cliffhanger, so I still need to get the next volume, but this was just really good, to be honest. And I don't know why, I really like the art. I don't know, it's kind of like simplistic, but it's like nice. I just really enjoyed this. And if you're looking for a different kind of protagonist, then I would recommend this one. Okay, let's go to something that I was kinda disappointed about. And I remember in my previous haul, I was really hyping it up to be something that I'm so excited to read, and I just can't wait. And I'm so sad to say this, but it's Vampire Dormitory. So yeah, I remember I was continuously saying in my manga haul, oh, I can't wait to read this, because I was like, oh, it's not gonna be good plot wise, but it was gonna be like trashy good and I would still really like it, but I just couldn't even like it even though it's trash. Yeah, it's just the plot happens too fast, and I don't mind a fast plot, but like it just felt too fast. It definitely was like Dawn of the Arcana too fast romance, and I know I complained about how fast the romance is in Dawn of the Arcana, so this was just like it was just too fast for me, to be honest, and they fell too quickly for each other. I don't know. I kind of forgot what this is about, but there's a synopsis because I read it a while ago. But yeah, I don't know, because like I didn't really enjoy it, but I didn't find it that bad in the sense that I don't plan on dropping it. I do want to continue it, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't even remember what happened in the 3rd volume. Yeah, I don't know. I just read it, and it wasn't like I didn't read it feeling satisfied. I just felt disappointed, and that's so sad because I was really hyping this up to be something that I was super excited for. Can't wait. And I don't really hear anyone talk about it. I've seen people pick it up and people continuing to pick it up, so I thought it would just be like trashy good, but nah man, I don't know. I don't know if I'll continue this series. I may pick up the 4th volume just to kind of really decide, because there were some aspects, like some parts that I actually enjoyed, and like I could read all 3 volumes without struggle. Like I didn't feel like it was a chore to read these volumes. So it's not like I hate the series. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I'm just not attached to any of the characters. I think that's a big issue. I just don't care for them, to be honest. I'm not rooting for the romance. I'm not rooting for any of these characters. I don't care about them. They're not really fleshed out. They're just really shallow, and yeah, I don't know. At least the spines look nice, but yeah, I probably will pick up the 4th volume and then we'll see whether or not I'll continue it. Let's go to a Kodansha series that I really did enjoy, and I think I did talk about this one a lot again in my hauls, but I don't think I actually talked about it in a manga reading log. Well, the one manga reading log I've done, and that is Lovesick Ellie. I may have talked about this, not sure, but this one is perfection. This one is absolutely amazing. I love it so much. Like, I get secondhand embarrassment from the main female lead, but she's just so endearing in like a cringy way that I just love it. And you see how the male lead kind of has this really like childish, like bratty side, but you see how she comes, like she accepts that, and how they both just accept each other for who they are. They don't try to change the other person, they just accept them for who they are, and I really like that. It's just really cute, to be honest, and I just love it so much. You really see how they grow fond of each other, and I know there's gonna be like 12 volumes or 13, I forgot, but this is a good shoujo, and one that I'm so glad Kodansha decided to actually print. The art is also really pretty, very like shoujo, as you can see, like sparkles, just everything I need. Man, I just love it, and I'm pretty sure the 4th volume is already out, so once again I need to pick that up. But I love this series, and yes, if you're looking for a shoujo, I highly recommend this one. This one is just so cute, honestly. So yeah, I really enjoyed this, and I'm so glad I picked this up. Okay, let's move on to a series that doesn't have a English print, but I have the Japanese volumes for it, and that is this series. I don't know the title for it in English. I don't think many people have even like seen this series. I know the mangaka's probably like most famous work, famous. If you're in the like shoujo community, you might have heard of it just through recommendations, but I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Aishi Girl is, I would say, is definitely her most famous, quote unquote famous, because none of the series have been printed in English, but I've seen people recognize that work more than any other of her works. But I picked this up used one day, and this cover I really like, so I decided to give it a shot, and bless past me, because this series is chef's kiss. Basically, it's with these three people. They are all mind readers, and it's just basically their romance. However, the one we do primarily focus on is the romance between him and her, and I really like the way they meet. It's so cute, because basically this girl just has a lot of like she daydreams a lot, and they're like really weird, you could say, and he kind of just like falls for that. He looks forward to work just to see what she daydreams, and it's so cute, honestly. And yeah, I don't know, there's such a nice charm to this series that I really looked forward to every new chapter that came out, because the scans were pretty slow. So even though I bought the Japanese, I did read the scans, obviously, because I can't read Japanese. So I was reading the scans, and I really enjoyed the scan. Like, I really enjoyed the story. It was really good. This was just honestly such a cute series. We do follow the romance for these two, however, they're not as prevalent, and to be honest, I really only like cared for the relationship between those two. But we do get to see the past with their parents and grandparents, and how they kind of dealt with one of them being a mind reader and their partner finding out, their reaction and all of that. So yeah, I don't know, I just really like this, and I would highly recommend to go like check out the scans. Like, I don't really try to promote scans, but there's no official way you can read this unless you buy the Japanese physicals. I really enjoyed this, and I highly recommend for you guys to check it out. It definitely has, the art style is not my fave, to be honest. It's very simplistic, as you can see. Like, the backgrounds are quite plain, it's quite simplistic, and it's not my favorite, but I really think the story just makes up for the art. And yeah, I just really enjoyed the story for this. Okay, now in my anime manga vlog, I showed myself reading this, and you could kind of like see what my thoughts were, because I did write some subtitles, but I really just wanted to go fully into it and just all my thoughts and opinions as I was reading this, and that is Blackbird. So in my previous haul, I did show that I got the box set for this, and I read it all, and a lot of thoughts and opinions, let's just say that. I understand why it's definitely considered a controversial manga series, because it is quite controversial. It's just basically, it's this girl, she like attracts demons, and then it's like a boy that she promised when they were younger to marry or something, or to get together. He comes and saves her when she's being attacked by a demon, and then it's this whole thing where she ends up being the bride of him, who is actually like this part of this clan of like demons or whatever. And yeah, like it kind of gives off like Kami-sama Kiss vibes, but like darker. But there's so many like problematic things, and it's like older shoujo, which I know a lot of older shoujo get the bad rep of just how many problematic things there are, but it's like I'm gonna get into spoilers, honestly, so skip to whatever time if you don't want to hear spoilers for this series. But the weirdest thing was when he became her like homeroom teacher to like protect her, but then he would do all of this stuff, the way he would just like I don't know, that whole teacher thing just really puts me off. I just can't deal with teacher and student romance. Yeah, I don't know, man. It was just really weird. And the amount of times the girl would get like harassed or like, sexually harassed by not just him but like any other demon, how basically the brother of him like sexually harassed, like assaulted her, and how easily she forgave him because they gave him like a pity backstory. And then the whole thing about her being pregnant and how when she did give birth, and the whole thing of him being like, I can't love the child because the child like would kill you because she has the chance of like, she has a very high chance of dying when giving birth. And he's just like, oh, even if like the child, even if you gave birth to the child, I could never love the child. That whole thing was so bizarre and so weird. And then when like there's that really weird scene where what is it? It's like the kid is saying how slow his mom is because she survives, obviously, because she's the main character, but she's really weak after, so she couldn't like walk as fast as she used to. And someone like the kid like insulted like their child, like not insulted but just like, oh mom, you're so slow, blah blah blah. And then he like pushes the child that's meant to be romantic, and that's so like, what? I don't know, it's just so weird, this series, to be honest. Yeah, there's a lot of weird things. I don't even know. I'm surprised it's got a box set. It must mean that the sales were really well for this. But yeah, personally, despite all of these issues, I did read it practically, not in one go, but like I read it in a couple of days, so there was no like having to wait a whole month or like to get the next volume. I just read it all. I still enjoyed it. I would say that I still enjoyed it despite all these problematic things. I really think that this could have been a great series if honestly like all that sexual harassment shit didn't happen, if the girl was grown up. I don't know. Yeah, this is not one, like, despite how I enjoyed it, when I say enjoyed, I mean it in the way of like I could read the whole thing. I was always interested to know more, but this is a series I would never recommend. I would not like praise it for how amazing it is, because it's not really. It's just, yeah, honestly, if you just want something like this, read like Kami-sama Kiss or something. Yeah, but honestly, this was just a ride. I'm just shocked of what happened in this series, and yeah, just honestly, just wow. Okay, I really hope I'm not going too fast with like me talking about these series, because I would like to say that this is in the span of when I did my previous manga reading log to now. Obviously not all the series, because I'm not going to repeat some of the series I talked about. Maybe if I did this monthly, then I would just like talk about the new volumes I read. But yeah, there's just some that I just don't have much to say, so I'm not going to put them in. This is just ones that I have really strong opinions or just have a lot to talk about. So continuing that, we'll get on to a more disappointing read, The Two Lions. It hurts me to say this because I was so hyped for this. I remember the whole being like, can't wait to read this. And I remember people being like, this is like definitely one of their favorite BL like one shot, one volume sort of thing. I don't know, I found it alright. There's nothing about their relationship that made me go like, wow, they're so cute together, so cute, you know. It was just like, cool, yeah, you know, cool. Like just reading throughout the thing, I was just like, yeah. Maybe if we saw more of them in their relationship rather than just, you know, them getting together, then maybe I would have enjoyed it more. So probably if there was like more volumes or it was just like longer, I probably would have enjoyed it more, because obviously we're seeing more of them. This is obviously more of when they're getting together, and I don't think the mangaka is gonna expand on this. If they do, I'll definitely read the next one, because I didn't hate it. I just wish there was more for their characters to like truly see them in a relationship, you know, and the complications that would arise and all of that. But yeah, I was just kind of disappointed, to be honest. I know the mangaka has some other works published in English, so I'll probably try them out. It's so sad for me to like say a manga series is alright, especially for one that I'm excited about, but these are just my genuine thoughts. So yeah, so we're going from like amazing to alright, you know. But let's get to a series that I really did enjoy that is only one volume, which is Boy Meets Maria. I actually think I did talk about this in a vlog because I recorded myself reading it, but I don't think I ever probably talked about it in depth. This unfortunately is only one volume because the mangaka did pass away, so that is a shame. So obviously with that, there's going to be parts where it did feel rushed, especially towards the end, where I would say it definitely felt rushed, but I understand, you know. But this is a very like, it's not for the lighthearted. There's a lot of trigger warnings that I would be mindful of before getting into this, and it's not just like implied. There are, honestly, I was surprised to actually see the scenes. They were quite like very disturbing, honestly. They were disturbing to read. I do think it was really well written, where we see why the characters act a specific way, and I think it's just really well written in that sense. Obviously, I do think it should be expanded more on to probably be like an amazing WoW series, but unfortunately that will never happen. Here's a synopsis. I realized like I didn't give proper synopsis for like some of the series, so I apologize for that. Maybe that's why I went really fast with this, because I didn't give synopsis for some of them. One thing I will praise like heavily on is the art. Okay, I love how I chose that scene, but yeah. I really like the art in this. I do see like gender identity and all that, like gender discussions and all of that, which I think is really interesting. So yeah, there's just a lot that goes on in a series. Like a lot happens for one volume, honestly, and some parts were just really heartbreaking to read and very hard to stomach. So yeah, I would, not for the lighthearted, I would say, if you're not in the right mental headspace and such, just look up the trigger warnings. But yeah, okay. And then the final series that I really wanted to talk about is one that pleasantly surprised me, and that was Otome Mania, where basically we follow this girl who wants to work in the gaming industry, and more specifically otome games, and it's kind of just her trying to create a game. Yeah, that's practically it in like the gaming industry. Obviously it's not going to be the most accurate, but I'm pretty sure I did read in like the author's note that the mangaka did like go to an actual place to see like how games were produced and stuff. So yeah, but I really enjoyed this. I was pleasantly surprised because I was going into this thinking, oh, I'm not gonna really like it, it's only 2 volumes, you know. I just really wanted to give it a shot because I really love otome games and such, but this pleasantly surprised me, let's just say that. And I'm just looking for a short manga series. I think this is one you see that's usually overstocked, so you can find them for a cheap price. It's endearing to see the female character to like strive to make this game, but obviously with 2 volumes it's going to have its flaws of it's very hard to get attached to these characters in 2 volumes. There's no character that like stood out to me in the sense of just like, oh, I love them, blah blah blah, like, you know. But for 2 volumes it was not bad, and I actually really enjoyed this for 2 volumes. 7C's like very short series are either a huge hit or miss, so this was a hit for me. I would say if you find this series for a good price, definitely check it out. I wouldn't recommend paying full price for it because I don't think it's worth it considering how expensive 7C volumes are. But yeah. Okay, I talked about quite a few series, but yeah, that's the end for this video. I don't know when I'll do another manga reading vlog. I don't know if I want to do it monthly or just do this where I just pick the series that I have really strong opinions about and I'll just talk about them. We'll see. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.